Hello, my name is Bob Wood. I teach senior current issues at Oak Ridge High School. This podcast is part of a larger project that you've probably already been introduced to, which is police brutality in the United States. Each of my students, in pairs or by themselves, chose a particular incident that they were concerned with in regard to the ongoing problem with police brutality in the United States. I, too, chose an incident, and mine was the death of Kajieme Powell in St. Louis in August of 2014. Before you even listen to my podcast, please go to the blend space and watch the full cell phone video of the execution of Kajieme Powell. It's 6 minutes and 40 seconds long. It is located in blend space number 3. I think it's important that you see that before you have any other input into this incident. Also go to blend space number 4, which is a slow motion and enhanced version of the actual shooting by the 2 police officers. After you do that, come back to this podcast and I will talk you through my blend space. Kajieme Powell was a 25-year-old mentally ill black man who lived in St. Louis. On Tuesday, August 19, 2014, he was shot and killed by 2 St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department officers, less than 4 miles from where Michael Brown was shot and killed 10 days earlier. While the Brown shooting instigated an uproar of police brutality around the nation, the Powell killing, after an initial flurry, just kind of flew quietly under the radar. And while there were many questions about the Brown incident, and no exculpatory video evidence, Powell's shooting was caught very clearly on videotape and shows direct proof of police culpability in his death. When I first saw this shooting earlier this summer, I was dumbfounded. It was an obscene abuse of power to me. I remember I cried. And I remember I posted it to Facebook and I sent it out to friends. And I remember when I came into school, maybe the first or second day of school for senior current issues, I showed that cell phone video. And as much as I really don't have a feeling or a notion or a thought about the Michael Brown killing, I don't know what happened with Michael Brown. I know exactly what happened with Kajieme Powell. And I know that 2 police officers abused their power. And they escalated a situation which did not have to be escalated, and they killed a man who was mentally ill and posed no serious threat to them. And my guess is that they are going to eventually get off and not pay any price for this. And it's this problem that is occurring all over the United States. And it is particularly occurring with mentally ill people and often in minority community. So let's take a look at my blend space. And I'll take you through the production so that you can make your own, observations about what you think concerning his death. Slides 3 and 4 say it all. You watch the video in slow motion, and there's no question that this tragedy did not have to occur. And it also highlights the lying that the police did in their initial report. Chief of Police Samuel Dotson said that Kajieme Powell was 2 to 3 feet from the officers coming at them with a knife and an overhand grip. Well, that's obviously untrue. He was at least 9 to 10 to 12 feet away, and his arms were at his side. If he has a knife in his hand, it's barely visible. So you have 2 officers that pull up and draw guns and begin to shoot almost immediately. Within 20 seconds, they've put 12 bullets into his body. They've handcuffed him on the ground, and you have several squad cars pulling up as backup units. There are so many things that could have been done with Powell to go slow, to talk him down, to stay in the car. They did not have to come out guns blazing. There was no reason to do that. Nobody at the time was in danger from Kajieme Powell's actions. If you look at number 6, number 5, and number 7, I have 3 pretty good articles that go into the events of the killing and the life of Powell. Number 8 is the final police report that not only differs from the initial police report with the knife in the overhand position, but also identifies the 2 shooters, the cops that shot, if you notice on the police report, as victims. I think it is this idea that cops who are fully armed are victims as opposed to perpetrators that seems to underlie all of these killings. Number 9 deals with how police deal with mentally ill people, which is really ineffective and brutal in the United States. I don't think they know how to deal with them, or they just don't care. One of the two. But so many of those killed are mentally ill. And there is another part on numbers 9, 10, and 11. One is from the Portland Mercury, the article from the Portland Mercury, which says, and this is a huge problem, there's no data bank on what is justifiable or unjustifiable police homicide. It's not kept by the Justice Department, and consequently these things happen all over the United States. And so the only real list of killings that you have is on, voila, Wikipedia. So if you go to number 11, it is linked to the Portland Mercury article, and it shows just how many people were killed in August alone. So, there's so many things that this issue has spurred in me to look deeper into. My brother Andy was mentally ill. He suffered from schizophrenia. I could see my brother Andy muttering and yelling and screaming and doing the things that Kajieme Powell was doing before he was shot. And there were ways to talk my brother down. There's always ways to talk people down. But when you are a police officer and you come into a situation with guns raised in intent to kill, you'll find a reason to kill. That happened to Kajieme Powell. It did not have to happen to Kajieme Powell, and it doesn't need to continue to happen so often in the United States. Hopefully, this creation by our 2015 Senior Current Issues class will provide you a pause to reflect on the injustice that is happening in our society in the name of police protection. Thank you for listening.